Well, this is going to be an interesting battle as one half of the aisle continues to try to market the Barbie movie as a feminist triumph film, while the company that actually needs to make money off it keeps issuing corrections and saying, oh no, it's not a feminist movie. It's almost like we're winning. It's almost like regular sane people are winning in the culture war now. Like, they know that if they run on this, it's going to be a feminist Barbie bonanza film, that people are not going to go see it. All you need to do is look at the results of the same actress as Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn movie. It was a disaster because they ran on all this, oh, toxic men will hate our stuff and you're not going to want to, see this, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be an interesting story because I thought like this movie actually looked like a lot of fun. I have a twin sister. I grew up. I, knew plenty about Barbie, more than any guy should. But I mean, it was part of growing up, and I actually probably would have seen this movie, but it's getting kind of dicey. Quick shout out. I don't tell people often. I don't know how many of my viewers use Instagram, but I'm the Quartering YT, one word in there. I'll leave a link in the description. I love for you to follow me on Instagram. I post more personal stuff there. There's a picture of Hucky Puppy and stuff like that. But I'll post some of my short form videos and more personal stuff there too. So, and to Twitter. So whichever you prefer. Margot Robbie isn't impressed with Mattel saying Barbie isn't a feminist movie. The crucial aspect is that we're in on the joke. Margot Robbie has reacted with surprise after being informed that Robbie Brenner, head of executive producer of Mattel Films, has declared Barbie, the upcoming film from Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie, to not be a feminist film. Robbie appears as the main star in one of the most eagerly anticipated films of the summer, and indeed the day of July 21st. During an interview conducted by Elena Doctorman of Time magazine, Brenner expressed her view, by the way, a woman said this, that Gerwig's film was not a feminist movie, a sentiment shared by other Mattel executives the author interviewed. The opinion sharply contrasted with the writer's own interpretation of the film and conversations with several actors who spontaneously described the script as feminist. I mean, this is it. Like, this is all it takes for me. I'm out. I'm just out on Barbie. I would have went and seen it, like with my sister or something. But now I'm just out. Like, if it turns out to not be feminist cringe, I'll stream it, but I'm not paying $15 to see it. It's just so easy now, isn't it? Like with streaming and everything, it's just so easy that it's so easy to just not see it. You know what I started doing last night? I started rewatching Married with Children, and it totally holds up. And I'm like, oh great, I've got like 6 or 7 seasons to enjoy. I don't have to worry about any new crap on TV. It's just like, oh, I watched King of Queens before that. That held up. I watched rewatched Seinfeld. That held up. We're watching Married with Children now. So far, that's holding up. I can't wait for the Psycho Dad section of the show. It's just I don't need any of this new crap. There's so much good stuff that exists. So what's interesting is now you have the media battling. Here's Vanity Fair. Is Barbie a feminist movie? Depends on who you ask. Well, they know if they say it's a feminist movie that it's going to lose $100 million in potential sales. That's the reality of it. Now, it can be a movie that depicts the star. Barbie is always obviously the star of the Barbie show and the Barbie, figurines. It was always Barbie and Ken. Nobody cared about Ken, right? But the idea is if you want to run out and advertise this as feminist, you're going to be in big trouble. And it's like opening any day now. You see, the highly anticipated Barbie movie was never making it to big screen without a battle or two. Margot Robbie acknowledged this in her initial meeting with the Mattel CEO back in 2018 as she recounted in a new Time magazine cover story. In the very first meeting, we impressed upon Nyan that we were going to honor the legacy of your brand. But if we don't acknowledge certain things, if we don't have to say it, someone else is going to, Robbie said. So you might as well be part of that conversation. Since then, the toy company has established its place in the dialogue, orchestrating a Barbie boot camp with director Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach who wrote with Gerwig, wrote the film, and voicing creative differences. Time reports Richard Dixon, CEO and president of Mattel, said that he took flight mid-production to the film's London set to argue with Gerwig and Robbie over a particular scene, which he felt was off-brand, according to the outlet. But once he saw the scene performed in person, he reportedly reversed course. When you take a look on the page, the nuance isn't there, the delivery isn't there, Robbie explained. I'm sure Robbie just spent a little time with him, and maybe he changed his mind. But what's wild about this, here you see Christian Toner writing, the press is in full promo mode for this movie. The word iconic no longer has any meaning. You see numerous Barbie actors reportedly describe film as feminist. Mattel executives adamant Barbie is not a feminist movie. I mean, this it's so wild that it's so obvious that everyone knows that if they're going to politicize this movie, it's going to lose a lot of people. Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that looks fun. Like, that looks like just like a fun, goofy summer movie and a safe, $15 to go see. But no, that's not what's going to happen. If you look at this article here, Mattel's Barbie movie latest attempt to normalize gender ideology and body surgeries by casting man pretending to a woman as Dr. Barbie. I mean, is this what's, there's a reason the freaking Mario movie made $1 billion, right? It's because these articles didn't exist. There was some little hullabaloo around whether or not Princess Peach was a Mary Sue. And you could argue that maybe because, she faced zero problems to overcome. But I mean, like Mario went on a journey. He got better. He saved the day, So like, I don't know. I didn't feel that way about it. But like numerous Barbie actors reportedly described feminist film. Mattel executive adamant Barbie is not a feminist movie. You know why? Like I said, they're going to lose money. The report comes after Robbie sat down with Fandango and revealed the film is about having a relevant conversation about where the world was today and also acknowledging the 60-long history. It's just a lot of things to do at once. And she says, so definitely and ultimately, the whole experience is still fun. Like, it's so fun and weirdly emotional. I mean, isn't it interesting that all these... Well, anyway. Actress Issa Rae, who plays President Barbie in the film, has also made it clear that the feminist messaging. While asking how she identifies a Ken, Rae said, I think Ken, for me, is just kind of there. I think a Ken is a great accessory. That's what I loved about Greta's imaging of Barbie, is that the Kens are the supplemental character to these Barbies. While Barbies can do everything, Kens are there to support and don't necessarily have their own story. Jeebus! Jeebus! That's not necessarily a negative thing. It's incredibly strong for men to be in supportive roles and supportive of the greatness of woman. I mean, look, here's the thing. They're not targeting men for the Barbie movie, so I understand, but I just think it's like hilarious that they're like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, it's cool. Like the dudes don't have any lines; they're pointless. That's the way it really should be. When Hollywood Reporter's Lacey Rose commented, having Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach attached to right in itself subverts expectations, Robbie replied, yes. Now we can truly honor the IP and the fan base and also surprise people, because if we can do that and provoke a thoughtful conversation, then we're really firing on all cylinders. No. Nobody wants a Barbie movie to ignite thoughtful conversations. I don't know how much more clear I can be about that. Now, I don't know if how much of this is, actors smelling their own farts, how much of this is actually going to be in the movie, but you have this stuff. There are brilliant actresses who aren't getting amazing roles. And beyond that, you look at the statistics of males versus female directors, males versus female writers, and there's so much to be done. You just can't sit there and do nothing when you hear those stats she added while starring in a movie that was directed and written by a woman. I don't even I don't understand. I don't know. Like, I just, like, I don't understand it. I hope that, I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. This freaking autoplay ads Bounding into comics. Let's go, guys. You can do better than that. This is it. You know, like all I need is a tiny little bit of reason not to see a movie, and I'm out. Like, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So now they're desperately trying to cover up the fact that it's it looks like to be another woke disaster. We'll have to see. Barbie's a pretty big IP. It's going to take a lot to sink this movie. I think it's still going to do fine, but it's just not going to have my money. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.